Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Dutch Hormone Test that I've been using a lot. I've been posting a lot about estrogen and progesterone, and I wanted to just kind of show you what a test result actually looks like and why I use it so much. So one thing that I like to utilize as well is a lot of women come to me and they have their blood drawn and they have their blood levels checked for estrogen, progesterone, testosterone even. Numbers are totally fine on their blood test, but they're like, I have every symptom going on hormonally, but my blood test results look totally normal. So this is where the Dutch test comes in. This is why I use it a lot, because it looks at other pathways other than just the actual number of the hormone. So it'll give you the total number of the hormone that you have on the test when you use the Dutch test, but it's going to look at metabolites. And what I mean by that is it's a urine test. So it'll look at metabolites of how you're taking those specific hormones and how you're breaking them down and utilizing them. So, for example, I'll show you, this is my test from, I think this was about 6 months ago, but I want to show you, like this is progesterone, sorry, it's backwards. This is progesterone, so this is how it's broken down. It's an alpha pathway, it's a beta pathway. So it'll show me the total number of progesterone, just like a blood test is going to show, but it's also going to show me which pathway it prefers. I'd like to see a balance, but sometimes you prefer alpha or beta. Depending on where you are with your pathway will determine if taking progesterone is even going to be beneficial for you, if you need more of a sublingual, kind of an oral progesterone, if that's going to be more beneficial for you, because the pathway that it's going down will help me decide what's going to be more effective for you, which way you kind of prefer, which way you need to be pushing more towards. So another one that I really like is the testosterone one. So I don't know if you can see on this one. So this is testosterone, and it breaks down. It's going to go into two pathways as well. It does alpha, beta. So this is a really good one that I look at. When women come to me, they're doing the testosterone pellets. They like the ones that go in your hip. I get a lot of women that come with that, and they're like, I feel horrible. I just did all these pellet therapy, and I feel absolutely miserable. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but it's not helping me, or they feel worse. This is where this test really helps me out. So that's why I like to utilize blood test and this test together. So the cool thing with this one is it's going to show me, are you preferring androgen, the androgen side of it, which is going to be more the alpha side pathway, or are you preferring the beta? Alpha is going to be the androgen side. So you're going to get all the masculine sides of the hormone. So for example, someone's testosterone could look totally normal, but they're like, I feel miserable with this testosterone, even though my number looks good. If they're really preferring the androgen side, they could get all the masculine symptoms. So they could have acne, like especially around their jawline, their chin, like clumps of hair falling out. They may actually get facial hair, deepening voice, all those things. I see it a lot with women doing testosterone therapy. It's because they're preferring that androgen pathway. There are ways that you can still do testosterone therapy, even if you are worried or your test shows that you have this androgen pathway preference. There's supplements, there's things that you can take that you can still take the hormone therapy, but you have to add that supplement so that you just push it down the right pathway. And that's where I see a lot of people that come to me, women particularly, where they feel like they aren't getting the benefit as much as they want. It's because they don't really know what pathway they're preferring. So that's where this test really is helpful, especially for someone that is doing hormone therapy. And then the estrogen one. The estrogen one's really interesting. So it shows E1, 2, 3, which are your 3 estrogens. But the reason why I like this is it's going to show me the pathways that it breaks down into. So estrogen's a really powerful hormone. When you use estrogen, you want to use it, you want to break it down, you want to get rid of it. And what happens a lot of times is if your phase 1, phase 2 liver detoxification pathways are slacking, what happens generally is you end up backing up that estrogen, so you recirculate it. You don't want to recirculate used estrogen. You want to get rid of it. And so this test will show me, are you doing that? Are you taking this phase 1 pathway? Are you utilizing it better? And then are you utilizing phase 2? Phase 1 is it's kind of culminating all this estrogen. And then phase 2 is you basically urinate it out. You start getting rid of it. You can't really see that on anything but a test like this. So like, for example, on mine, this was a better test of mine when I first did this. It was really bad. I was not preferring, the 2OH is the pathway that I like people to really push towards. Wasn't really doing that a whole lot. So there's things that you have to do so that you prefer that pathway. This is where it comes in really tricky with women. They say, my estrogen numbers look normal. My doctor says my estrogen numbers look normal. I have every symptom of estrogen dominance, but it says they're normal. This is where this test is really handy, because then I can say, well, we need to see what your phase 1 and phase 2 are doing. A lot of times women will have normal estrogen, but their phase 1 and phase 2 is terrible. So they're recirculating estrogen. So they're getting all the symptoms of estrogen dominance, even though their estrogen is not high. And there's a lot of things that you can do to help push the phase 1, phase 2 to be more effective. But again, you're not going to really know. I don't typically willy-nilly just put someone on phase 1, phase 2 detoxification stuff if they're on hormone therapy without really knowing where their pathways are functioning at. Not a big fan of that, so that's why I really like to test. There are some instances where I may do it, but generally I want to see where you're at. If it's really bad, then you have to go on something that will help. Again, you can still do hormone therapy. There's nothing wrong with it, but I like to see where you're at with your detoxification pathways to know, are you utilizing the hormones the correct way? And that's where I think blood testing and this test should kind of coincide with each other when you're doing hormone replacement therapy. Again, I'm not opposed to it. I have had to do stuff myself since I had gone into early menopause a couple years ago, which is a whole nother story. But that's where this test came in and was really handy, because I could really see, like, my phase 1 detox was really bad for a long time, and I really had to be diligent with pushing that. And it's completely normal now. It took a while, but it did get there. But that's why I really like this test for something like that. You can do this test where if you just want to check the sex hormones and do this page, you don't really want to do anything else, you can utilize that. They also do check cortisol, some of the neurotransmitters like dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine. It looks at some B12 or B markers, B12, B6, glutathione, even like melatonin. You can get all those things on this test. But again, if you just want to look at the sex hormone stuff, you can do just that. If you don't want to do the whole entire full panel, I always just tell people, you're already doing the urine test, you may as well just do the full panel while you're at it, because they do coincide and feed off of each other anyway. So may as well just do it all in one shot. But that's kind of where I stand with hormone replacement therapy. Again, I'm all for it. But I think you really need to look further into how you're detoxing your hormones and how you're utilizing them, because I think it's going to make that treatment that much more effective. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Absolutely reach out to me if you want to know more information about the test. If you want to know some other ideas, if you think the test might be more helpful, even like coinciding it with your blood test, just give me a shout out. Let me know. I hope this helped you guys. See you guys soon.